Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Amethyst Dragon Gaming. I am your host, Dread the Amethyst Dragon. And this is what we know so far, Pokemon Sword and Shield Edition. I'm going to be covering, obviously, Pokemon Sword and Shield and what we know so far and what has been released to us. So, it is going to be on the Switch. The DS is dead for Pokemon purposes. A lot of us had already assumed that, but it's official with this. Here's the trailer. We're going to look at it in a minute. I'm sure some of you can see some ears down there, but I want to cover the trailer first. I've got some notes here, but we're going to look at them after the trailer. I want to do the trailer first. Here we go. I just want to emphasize this is not game footage, this is just a rendered scene. It says it right there, but I want to re-emphasize that. Alright, there you have it. Pretty awesome. I was blown away by that the first time I saw it. But, to stay objective, I watched it a couple more times, let the hype die down, and I've started noticing some things. We're going to go back over here and we're going to look at this website before I talk about what I noticed. Of course, here's your three starters, Sobble, Scorbunny, and Grookey. I hope I'm saying those right. Probably not saying his right. Of course, Scorbunny, their basic description is a rabbit Pokemon that is always running about, bursting with energy, and is basically the poster child for the furry fandom. He is everywhere. But apparently, according to an unofficial poll that was done, Sobble is in the lead for the favorite starter right now. He is definitely a very shy boy and very timid, and people have just fallen in love with him because of that. Sobble's description is a somewhat timid water lizard Pokemon that shoots out attacks as it hides itself in the water. Okay, right now this is going to be one of those few speculation times. He camouflaged himself in the water, and he has notably chameleon-like appendages, and that is something to take note. I don't want to draw conclusions about his final evolution, typing, or anything like that, and it may not even have meant to be chameleon camouflage, but it looked that way to me. And then the third one, the grass type, Grookey, who I really hope I'm saying that right, is a mischievous chimp Pokemon that is full of boundless curiosity. I have concerns about Grookey. It's because his description is the shortest, his character has the least details, and even in the video, I'm going to go back over here, I'm just going to leave it in this small screen though, you have, where is it? Where is it? Score Bunny gets this nice lead up. He runs up, jumps off, fiery paw print, slides, leaves a little scorch mark, nose rub. I mean, all that. Very grand entrance. Sobble, he puts out the water, decloaks himself, runs out, looks around, does all that. He's very shy, shows his character. But then Grookey, all he does is bang a stick and then run to the top of a tower, and then he just sits there. They didn't put a lot of work into what he does, and I'm concerned about him as a starter and where his place is. I usually like grass starters, and it's usually a toss-up for me between grass and water starters. But I'm not so sure about Grookey. I'm concerned about him. Maybe that's just they ran out of time and they wanted to short it, so they didn't put a bunch into Grookey. But I am certainly concerned. Okay. The next thing is the region we'll be in. The Galar region. Probably saying that wrong as well. I have a horrendous time with saying words, as you have obviously seen. It's kind of similar to the United Kingdom, but that's a speculation as well. But it's also kind of semi-confirmed. They haven't officially said yes it is, but between the terrain, other regions, and stuff like that, it's all but validated. Some people are saying, oh look, it's Big Ben right there. But then when you look in one of the videos, it doesn't actually have... It doesn't have a clock face. It's just a tall building. Unless that's not the same building. Plausible. But it looks the same. To me. That's gotta be it. Okay. Another concern I have. This is very, from an aerial view, very linear. Granted, you would probably go up through here, go around, go back through, and then when you get here, you'd have to go over here, then go over here, and go over here because of stuff you need to continue, HMs, or however they're doing the environmental traversing mechanics. But it really concerns me that this is going to be very linear, because it looks to me like there's a lot of unused space. I can't think of any Pokemon game where you've actually scaled a mountain. You've actually gone into the mountain a little bit, like a couple rooms, maybe a floor or two, or you've been on the side of it. Now, there have been times, of course, barring legendary encounters, that you go up, but I don't really count that as an exploration area. So, we're not going to be exploring any of this. We might get that, but I doubt it. Speculation. I'm not sure about this. We won't be over here. Won't be here. That is very unlikely that we'll be here. That is also unlikely right there, but it's plausible. I find it highly unlikely that we'll be inside of all of this. That's just seems like too much space. But they have used, and I quote the word, expansive region. So I could be wrong. And I know I said I wasn't going to do much assumptions, but knowing from their maps, I'm very concerned about this being linear. And you just basically straight shot it. I'm worried about the time it will take to complete this. Or that you will be led along, that there won't be any exploration. It'll just be go here, now go here, now go here, now go here. And that's some people's thing. Some people like that, and that's okay. Just it's not my thing. See, there it is. An expansive region with many environments. And we saw in the trailer that you'll be going to some icy areas. It's probably up here. In fact, not probably. It is up there. It's the only icy area. But how much of that is the question. That's another one of my concerns. If you look right here, actually, let me go over here. Ooh, blurry. It'll have to do. If you look here, you go in here, you come out here, and you go up and right there. There's no trails, paths. There's this little thing here, but I'm not counting that. It looks like all this is just wasted area, and it's just there for background and flair. That's a huge concern of mine. So, I mean, we're going to have to wait and see what happens, but I am concerned, to say the least. But I think all this will be good. The starting, what I assume is the starting area. For not assuming, you know, I'm assuming a lot. This might be the starting area. If it is, it's pretty cool. I look forward to seeing what all the fields are. I'm hoping there's not a grinding berry mechanic, but if there is, it's probably here. Alright, okay, and then the webpage just talks about where to buy. Okay, so the talking points I want to talk about. First of all, for any of you concerned about Pokemon Let's Go, the head of the Pokemon Company assured concerns in an interview with magazine I can't say, and according to him, the 2018 Pokemon release will be a completely different game to the Let's Go series. And I quote, It is. Great job, Tech Radar. Goodness. It's not an entry game, he says, but a game that we want long-term fans of the Pokemon series to look forward to. That 3 words has me very hyped and skeptical at the same time. Because a lot of times people will overcompensate when they say they're going to do something. Oh, this is for long-term fans of the game, and then there's a couple shout-outs and that's it. We've seen that in a couple games before. I don't want to, rather, assume what that means. I am hopeful it will mean something good. The official release date is late 2019. However, it's almost always been November. That's another assumption that I'm not supposed to be making many of, but it's almost always been November. Enough time to get it out, get it reviewed, get it looked at, get a patch out if it's needed before Christmas. And I've already talked about the starters, of course. The marked stones, that's something that I noticed that I'm curious about. I'm not going to draw any assumptions from it, but just keep that muted and skip ahead here. I may have passed it. I'm not sure. I did. There. See, there's this. It's got a little symbol in it of some kind. I'm not sure what it is. Not sure what it means. And then there's another one. Okay, there it is. Found it. Sorry, I had to cut that out because I was unable to find it there for a second. Okay, so there's markings in this one as well. And this is going into a gym/stadium. We don't know exactly what that is. But there are... I'm going to use the word again. There are assumptions. But it's all but confirmed that that's what the gyms are going to be. They're going to be stadiums. They're going to be soccer fields. And if you look... I think it's this one. Where is the Dingus Dongus? Let me go back to the fights here. There. That is a stadium. And that is a Lucario. And a Tyranitar. They got messed up. He was in a stadium. So it's a pretty common thought that the stadiums are actually going to be the gyms. But then again, at the same time, I can't find it. I looked and looked. I couldn't find where it said it, but somewhere it was released on a tweet from one of the creators that they're not gym leaders anymore. They're masters. I'm not sure what that's going to imply. Maybe there's a master of grass and they use only grass. That's kind of what... where was it? Was it 23 seconds? That's kind of what this looks like to me. Is like this guy is the master of grass-type Pokemon. Okay. I'm going to move along here. The camera angle shifts. While the character was walking around and it moved from the ice environment to walking around a just normal area, the camera... See, look. The camera... I'm not counting those, obviously. You're behind, you're to the side, you're above. Now it seems like it's kind of free roam. The camera's moving a lot. I'm worried it's going to try to do too much with that. If it's just a couple things like we've seen there, no big deal. But it does raise a few concerns for me that they're going to play with the camera angles too much, and it's going to just disassociate you from getting involved in the game. Or it may help it. We'll have to see, but it is a concern of mine for sure. The sneak, which is actually right here. I'm going to roll back just a little bit so we can see it. Right there. I don't know if that's going to be the animation for when you walk through grass or if there's some kind of other mechanic going there, but it is something I wanted to point out and be like, hey, that person is kind of crouching. Maybe that's just what happens when you walk through tall grass now. I'll show it again. See, normal walk, crouching. Why? That doesn't seem to be a needed thing. Is that some mechanic or something? We have no idea. But there is a crouch there. This was in the video at 20 seconds. I'm a big fan of any type of landscape covered in trees. That is bloody frickin' gorgeous. That is amazing. I cannot find a single thing to complain about this image or area. At least not right now. I'm sure I'll find something later. But this is absolutely amazing. Whoever designed this, put the work into this. I can see their heart in this creation right here. This is amazing. Now, since that's amazing, there's some stuff that's not. At first glance, this is just the trainer throwing a Pokeball. But look at the whole thing. The clouds, the cliff faces, glaciers, even the land. The trainer's head right here. You're starting to see it. The shirt, the top of the Pokeball. That is a lot of bloom. This is very bright. There's a lot of shininess, almost metallic, and a lot of the graphics. And I am very concerned about it. This is a darker scene. Let me zoom in here a little bit. I'll probably, oh, can't. Okay, well. Oh, now you're going to let me. Okay, gee, thanks. Even with this being a darker scene, she's underneath an awning. The plants don't have a lot of shine. There's not a lot. She's in the shade. It's suffice to say, she is in the shade. She's still shining. It is at least consistent. It's all on her right side. It's not displaced. Even her shoes. Her right side is shinier than her left side. So it may be something they've done with the ambient lighting from the sun. But it's off-putting to me. That it's that kind of metallic shininess. But it's just the trainer. So, you know, you're going to see it when you do that, and that's about it. When you're walking around, it doesn't look too bad. Like this right here. Yeah, you can't even tell right here. The sun's coming from this character's left side, so you got the shadow on the right, and all the shadows are correct and everything. I mean, that looks good. This is a pretty good scene. But then when you start to look further, look, the trees have a weird shine to them. The hills have an odd little shine to them. You start seeing it again. But I mean, unless you're sitting there staring at it, it's probably not going to be too bad. But then this happens. This is obviously from Let's Go, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. This is one of the images captured from the Gen 8 trailer we just watched. And this is Ash Hat Pikachu in Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. I don't really like this one in Let's Go. The chin is very bulbous and looks like Pikachu been having too many chocolate cakes, or that's actually a Ditto, you know, one of the two. But the mouth is more defined, as you can see, in all of them, other than this one. It's almost like the face is blurred, really. And my theory behind that is it's all this lighting. Look at all this glow. This one has a lot of glow too, but I'm excusing it on this one because Let's Go was already a humongously bright game, and it's all consistently like even though it's really bright, it's blended. I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's blended. There was no lighting here. They just looked kind of like, hey, we're here and we don't have sun. Help us, please. But I actually like this one, the Gen 7 Pikachu, more than I like the Gen 8. I don't like this glow. And it makes the body look separated, and it makes it look unnatural. The terrain, however, that is a vast difference, and I really like the terrain. This is the stadium. Again, there's some light. Look, he's in a tunnel. There's no lights. The outside lights should be showing inward just from the sheer amount of lights that are in that soccer field. There should be, from our angle, no light, no reflection. But the top of his head, it has that weird lighting. It continues to be a concern of mine. But otherwise, I mean, the graphics and art style, they look good. I mean, they're not horrible, especially considering what we started with in 95. But I do have concerns. Now, all that being said, I want to go to the one image I haven't talked about so far, and this is probably the last point I'll make. The Sword and Shield logo itself. This has been something talked about by me and some of my Pokemon enthusiast friends and the league that I'm in. The heads are the same. The Sword and Shield have the same head. There's a lot of assumptions and speculations about this. I'm not going to make a single one about this. I'm going to stay assumption-free on the heads. But just know that the heads are the same other than being in different directions. And we're not sure what that means. But we will find out for sure. That's pretty much all my concerns and thoughts on the official released information. Hopefully, we'll get more sometime soon. But for now, that concludes another video. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment below if you have any concerns or if you just want to say hey. And everybody have a fantastic evening.